New for 96. With your hosts, Kevin McCauley and Chris Nguyen.
Hi, Kevin.
Hello, Christopher.
That was aggressive. Welcome to another episode of New for 96. How's your week?
It was fine.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Pretty okay? Just okay.
It was hot. It was somewhat unproductive.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Didn't hear a lot from you this week. I saw a lot of you in the group chat, but
I sent you a picture of my Fuchs wheels.
yeah.
They looked good.
Yeah. They look like wheels.
They look like brand new,
They look good.
polished.
I didn't see them before, so I can't really judge them appropriately.
They were
accordingly.
better. They were better than the ones that are on the car now before, but
Yeah.
now they look like new.
The ones that were on there now look like they were barely held together by the rust and ash.
They're solid. They're just been sandblasted looking a few times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine. It was good patina. You actually...
Well, they're still on there now.
You've ruined everything.
I know.
Yeah. But it's fine. I actually can't wait to see them because they're 7s and 8s.
Yeah.
And that's the look to go with. So,
Yeah. I wonder how unusual it was, like, as an option. Or how, well, yeah, and I guess I thought it was just, like, the sport option setup, but I think that just 6 and 7 Fuchs were, like, the sport option for most of the time, and all the dealers did that, and the more I look into it, the more I see that, like, 6 and 7, or 7s and 8s is really, like, a 930 setup, pretty much only.
I see nowadays, which drives me a little bit nuts, but also, like, it looks good, and I feel guilty liking it, but replica Fuchs that are, like, deeper than 7s and 8s, like that one 911 SC that we saw on BAT, like, in 2014 that we always talk about.
Oh, yeah.
The silver one, I think.
It was, like, silver blue.
Yeah, and they had...
It was 2016. It was like a few.
Okay.
It was a few weeks before. It was a few months before I bought my SC, and I was like, "Yeah, this is great," but I could never buy one without air conditioning. And then I bought one without air conditioning.
Yep. But that one looked really good. It was like it looked really nicely, like aggressive.
Yeah, it really did. It really did.
And I mean, from what I remember, they were replica Fuchs.
They were, yeah.
But I feel like they were deeper than, like.
Yeah.
Either the style, I don't know if it was wider than 7s and 8s, or if just the style made it look like
it might have. I don't know.
Yeah.
The thing is, and I think we've gone into this, but if you could get like a 9-inch Fuchs for the rear on an SC, like a 9-inch actual Fuchs, and they're like the same price as 8-inch Fuchs,
which is so surprising.
But they're not any deeper visually. It's all like with the way that offsets work, and I don't know anything about offsets. It's all of that added width is inside the wheel well.
Yeah.
So the lip is exactly the same between an 8 and a 9. But let's move to something else.
Yeah, it's been complained.
No, it hasn't.
That we talk about Porsches too much.
Oh,
and that is to say that Blake Zed Wrong has complained about that. So let's keep talking about it.
Cheerio.
Yeah. So we both had like very mirroring experiences recently with travel, so to speak, I guess, because we both went to Portland, but at like different times and like a week apart, and we did the exact same thing.
Going to Seattle and Portland.
Yeah, Seattle and Portland, and seeing Daniel Sloan, and then going to like various car spots. There's a dealership up there that I'd actually, when I was looking for Celsiors, I looked at one up there, and in the Soto market, or the Soto district of Seattle. And that was the only thing that I knew that they had there, and I visited. So I stopped by the dealership, and they had 3 AutoZans, which I'd never seen one in person before, and I did not expect to see 3 of them.
Yeah.
And so they were just sitting inside, like it was kind of like a very industrial warehouse looking space, and there were two red ones and a black one, and they all had their doors open, at least one door open, and so I invited myself in and I sat in them. I wish I'd asked to see if I could test drive one because that would have just kind of been neat. They were very friendly, and I think it would have been okay with that. But they are as described. Like it's nothing new, but like they are so small. Like I'm blown away by how small they are.
How much are they asking for them? Like 11, 13, 15?
I think they were asking 15 each. But they had some other interesting cars too. But nothing that I hadn't seen before at JDM dealerships. Bunch of neat Toyota vans. I did see like this Isuzu coupe that I posted on Twitter and said that I have no idea what this is, but I really like it. And people answered with a number designation, and I have no idea what it was. But it looked like an old like 70s Fiat or Lancia.
Oh, okay.
But it was really pretty.
And so you also popped into Avant-Garde.
I did
in Portland, which I also popped into because I stumbled upon it. We were in that area in Portland, shooting some photos with the MX-5 last week, and I like saw just like a bunch of like old 911s and like various states of disrepair outside of a building, and so I walked in.
Literally stumbled upon it.
I literally did, and just like we were in the neighborhood, and I wandered in, and then I saw like the RS200 and the 934 Porsche, and
oh my god, it looks so cool.
I chatted with the guy for a minute, and I even asked him like, "Where is that?" I was like, "Oh, you guys are the guys that sell on Bring a Trailer all the time." And
I was about to say, like, if you're unfamiliar, like Avant-Garde sells frequently. They might be. This is very unsubstantiated, but they might be one of the more frequent dealerships that sell on Bring a Trailer.
Yeah, I think so. Like, you can definitely. They always have at least one listed, and you can see. You can tell from their location, like in their shooting style, where they.
It's always in front of like a train track
like
or
rail
train.
Yard, yeah. And so we had wanted to shoot around that, and we're like, and so I just asked him, I was like, "Oh, where is that spot you shoot at?" And he pointed me down the road.
Oh, nice.
And couldn't have been nicer.
Yeah.
Really cool. I was like, can I take a picture of the RS200? Because I don't know what's like consignment and what's a lot of it's, they're just holding on to for other people. But they were extremely cool. I could have spent another half hour in there looking at every car, and we were just in a bit of a hurry.
It looks like a mechanic's garage, and so I pulled up, and I thought it was going to be kind of a little bit more formal, I suppose, but it was right.
There's not like a showroom.
It's not a showroom. It's just it's like a store. It's like a warehouse. Yeah. And it's a warehouse or a shop, and like the guys are all like working. They were working on like a long hood 911, I think, when we walked in, and they just like kind of poked their head up. And
it was all like gray and primered and like battered and stuff.
I think so. Yeah, it was in pieces. It seemed. But they just said like, "Hey, look around," and so we did. We just kind of walked in, and I mean, it was just such a random assortment of cars.
Yeah, there was a NASCAR.
There was a NASCAR.
A Ford RS200.
A Kremer 930. It was a 934? 935.
934.
4. Okay.
So 934 still has the headlights. The 935 is like the slant nose type.
Okay.
Race car. They're both like massively turbocharged race car. But the 934 was basically a Group 4 version of a 930.
Okay. Well, this was a slant nose.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Okay.
I was talking about the Interscope 934.
I don't think I saw that.
It was under like a plastic bag.
Okay.
We'll post pictures of those or something.
There was also, did you see that like Gia designed thing? I sent it to our group chat, but I should have inquired like as to what it was, but it looked like it belonged in the Peterson as some like weird prototype, but it was this weird Gia designed car with like, and it had one fin that was like offset to one side, and it was just like this big convertible, and it did not look like a production car. So we'll have to find out what that is, because I don't know, and I didn't look. It looked like they were working on it, but yeah, other than that, like there were just like first gen Vipers next to like original Mini Coopers next to like whatever have you.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. Stopping by there. Just not that I hadn't like seen a lot of these cars before, but just having watched a lot of these auctions on that, and I think I had seen several listed prior to me going to Portland, and they were there still in the showroom. And then they had a bunch of like not rotting necessarily, but just cars ready to be restored, sitting
Yeah.
outside,
Yeah.
just ushering you in basically. And I always think about that, like that. I guess if a car is about to go through like a down to the frame restoration, it doesn't really matter like how they're kept prior to it. But like they were sitting outside, and uh, it seemed like they were like very susceptible to water. The interiors, everything, like, and they're parked very close, if not touching each other almost. And I think it just, they're rare. They're rare cars. There's
It was just like a 993 and a couple like long hood or short hood.
yeah, there's that
911s.
Fiat
Yeah.
as well, or maybe it was a Lancia. I don't recall. Um, but like it rains in Portland. It didn't rain. I think summers are kind of not dry, but they're not as rainy as it typically is. But anyways, it like not like I'm not saying this isn't like it's a bad thing. It bothered me, but it was just kind of like weird to see them like out there,
With like no glass.
yeah,
Some of them.
exposed to the elements, I guess. But anyways, so that was cool.
So speaking of depreciation,
Yes,
I replaced the battery on my Prius
Amazing.
this week. I didn't do it, but I had it done.
you watched
But
the man who did it.
it was really
The man with the
fascinating.
tools.
It was really interesting. And
Yeah.
I took a bunch of notes. Um,
Open hatch, remove floor, replace battery, replace floor.
it takes a long time to replace the floor panels. I
Really?
mean, all the not floor, all the like all that plastic body work. That's like a pain, and it never goes
Yeah.
together. quite
Was
right.
it like how long did it take?
Like 30 minutes?
Okay, so that was an accurate estimate. Like that number I threw out like a month ago, whenever it was that you were
Yeah.
thinking about having it done.
Yeah.
Okay,
So it was under $1,000, and they come out and they replace it with a rebuilt one.
Mhm.
Well, first of all, they came out on Tuesday, and they kind of ran like a diagnostic. They kind of make sure it's getting cooling, like based on the front. Like, so the crazy thing is, the first time they look at the car, they look at it and they tell me, yeah, the battery's probably on its way out. It's not critical. Like, when it's really bad, you'll be getting like 28 miles to the gallon. But it's pretty, it's not going to get better. And this is why your AC is not working as well. And I was like, okay. But they opened
Did they like plug anything in?
they plug something in, and they, but at first they look under the hood just to make sure it's getting the right like cooling, like
Yeah.
make sure that like you have the right fluids and everything. And then,
Interesting.
but the crazy thing is, like, when they come to replace the battery, they never have to open the hood for anything. Like, I thought maybe they'd have to disconnect something, but everything is in the back. But they came the next day. They swapped it out, and then they take the old battery and they like have it on the back of the pickup truck.
I figured they would have like attempted to push it down your sewer drain.
No, they disconnect a bunch of things, and then they take it back and rebuild the modules.
Yeah.
But they have to take off all these connectors to make sure that it doesn't like arc
Yeah.
while they're transporting it.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, "Yeah, you get shocked sometimes when you're working on these, but when it's in
What?
partial disassembled
First of
mode,
all, they don't do anything, so I'm just imagining as they disconnect like the battery and just letting loose the wires that they're just like these like dancing snakes, sparking snakes.
No, I mean he meant like when he's in the shop rebuilding it.
Okay.
You're talking like much lower wattage
Yeah.
because it's once you disconnect things, it's
Sure.
very divided.
Yeah.
But like a lot of these little connectors were fried. Like you could see they were like kind of charred, and they
Yeah.
thought that maybe someone had already tried to repair this battery.
Oh, I
With-
bet you it
and-
was the dealer.
I'm sure it was. They had tried to replace modules, and if you don't know how to balance it correctly,
Yeah.
then it will cook other ones. You replace one module.
Can't
So-
believe there's actually science to this.
I know. Well, there's 28 modules with 6 cells each.
Mhm.
The whole thing is 1.3 kilowatts. Did you know that?
No, how would I know that?
Because I don't know. It's like a Tesla is like 90 kilowatts.
I mean,
Like a
I only know
Tesla
that
is
because
100.
I only know that because of the badge.
I know, but I mean, just that's my only frame of reference for what a kilowatt is. I always get watts and
Yeah.
kilowatts and all these
I
things.
wish the Prius
megajoules
had
mixed up.
like that on the back.
But it's just funny that it's 1.3. Like that is such a small number.
Yeah, I do remember because when I had one, I installed the.
Oh no.
I know. I installed the. Okay, so we're talking about the second generation USDM Prius because there was technically, I think, one prior to like what we know as the first gen, and only available in Japan. But so the Japanese market for the second gen, the first one that looked weird, you could get an EV button, so you could put it into EV mode only, which you couldn't do in like the ones we got here. You could start it up and it would roll for a little bit on battery and then the gas engine would kick in. So this button would let you force it into EV mode. And I remember that the battery would only allow you to go like 1.2 miles or something on a full charge. But hey, here's a fun fact about hybrid. Why are we talking about this? This is terrible. This is an automotive
This is
podcast.
actually interesting. All this stuff about batteries. You're rambling on about I don't know what.
I'm about to talk to you about. Okay, so the Prius battery, it's large, of course, but so it never actually fully charges or discharges under official like operation. Like it operates between like I think it was something like 40 and 80% always. So it never drops below 40%.
Right, because it's lithium-ion batteries, and if you
No,
is it not?
no, it's nickel hydride.
Oh, right.
And then it wasn't until like recently that they started looking at Lion. And that was the thing. That was the optimal like operating range for nickel hydride.
I see.
So that meant that like when the bars on the display drop to like 1 bar, it's basically around 40, and then when it's like topped off, which it like if you notice, like it rarely ever gets that top bar. It's only at 80. So that's like it's a lie, first of all.
So I was trying to find
Yeah.
earlier today what it would cost on a McLaren P1
Mhm.
battery replacement.
Same price?
Yeah,
I
they
hope
come
this
to your
guy
house.
does it.
I could only find a Piston Heads thread from like 2015,
Oh.
but there was a guy who had a P1 that it's complicated. There's a guy who is named Flemke who is on this forum who actually did have a McLaren F1 that is verified, and so he commented and so I think that lends some credence to some of this information.
Yeah.
But it was tossed around that the LaFerrari is 80,000 pounds to replace the battery.
Oh, dear Lord.
And also on the what that wasn't the crazy thing. I think they said it was like 82,000 pounds. McLaren P1 maybe 40,000 pounds. But what was shocking to me was that in the LaFerrari, if it's not on a trickle charger for 3 days,
What?
if it's not on a trickle charger for more than 3 days, it like voids your warranty because
What?
if the battery drains to nothing, it is done. It's
What?
bricked. So on both of these cars, and
This is so.
they said that with the P1, it takes longer, like 3 to 4
Yeah.
weeks, before it can brick itself and your warranty is done.
Okay. First of all,
Yes.
that is so Italian.
Yeah.
That, like, for 3 days. I mean, I'm sure like most people like drive it for like an hour.
Yeah.
And then like put it in a trickle charger for 3 months. But still, that is insane.
It is.
Okay.
Okay, so let me say just
Yeah.
a couple more things.
Yes.
But so I asked the guy. It was these 2 guys that came out, and I was asking one guy all these questions that I
About
had
the
about it.
LaFerrari and the.
No, just about
P1.
Prius things, more interesting vehicles. But he said that the first gen Prius, which I have an emerging Camry coupe like adoration for.
No,
He said the first gen
terrible.
Prius is really bad. Like you do not want one because they
Really?
are basically not serviceable.
What?
Like a lot of the things in the battery that they disconnect are like
Yeah.
not soldered but like glued down. Like
Yeah.
it's not serviceable. There's parts that are no longer available, and if you have one, you basically can't work on.
What?
Yeah. So first gen Priuses are out. Don't get one. I think it's.
I mean, no one wants one anyway.
I do because it's
What?
weird. I don't now. I don't now, but I mean,
I don't like the form factor, and it's almost retro at this point.
Right, but it's like a Camry Coupe where it's so weird. Like I see them, and I saw a lot in the Northwest, and it's like a novelty. Like, whoa, there's one.
I like that's one of those cars. I remember when that second generation came out. I remember thinking how much I didn't like the second generation, and thought like, oh, they should make it look like a normal car, like the first gen Prius, which looked like
the one that didn't sell.
The one that didn't sell. Like,
why
it looked like
did
an
they
Echo.
repeat that? Yeah. It did look like an Echo.
It looked like an Echo. And then, like, I test drove one at a press event, the second gen. I thought it was, like, so futuristic. Just the way it drove and the interior and the exterior, like, it felt different.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was different. Like, it felt like nothing else on the road. So, yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Did any of your headliners fail? In the past week. I don't know why I added a note about headliners.
Funny you ask.
Okay.
Are you asking this because a few podcasts ago I talked about the GTI before I sold it, having the headliner repaired because on my 2011 Volkswagen, the headliner failed, yes. And then on the Cayman, the last podcast, I talked about how like I discovered bubbling headliner under the sun visor.
That's right. So
then this week, I guess I told you about how I looked up at the panoramic sunshade on the E91 to see bubbling headliner on the shade. So yeah, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm emitting like a chemical odor of some kind that's reacting with headliner material, because apparently I've had 3 cars this year with failing headliner, and I swear that it was not there when I bought the E91.
Don't look up in the Celsior.
No, I haven't seen the Celsior in a week, so it is probably nothing but headliner dust at this point. Yeah, I'm really upset about this because if it were just regular headliner, just like on the roof, it'd be fine. Like I feel like that's easy to replace, but this is it's the electric sunshade that covers the panoramic roof, which if you can imagine, it's sandwiched between the glass and the roof of the car, the interior roof of the car, which means that something has to be removed that isn't the sunshade itself in order to get to it. So maybe it's easy, maybe it's not easy. I've spent many hours looking up like how to do this. I might attempt it myself because I found some replacement panels on eBay. But that's probably a bad idea because it's probably partially due to age.
Imagine if like you had to like get it towed because the headliner was like in your face.
Yeah.
Like a repair gone wrong, and it's like the headliner is like coming apart, but you can't drive.
Turns out it was a load-bearing headliner. It would be terrible.
Mm-hmm.
But so I currently have 2 cars with failing headliner, and I have to find a shop. I mean, it's fine. In theory, any auto upholstery shop can do it, I guess. I found before I sold the GTI, like literally the week before I sold it, I had the headliner replaced, and the shop that did it did okay. Like, it wasn't anything spectacular.
It's probably falling down now.
But it's not my problem anymore. Right.
So, do you know about the M2 competition?
The only M2.
Yeah, available? They made an LCI and they called it the competition, which is very weird because they introduced an M5 competition, which they sell alongside the M5.
Yes.
So this makes no sense.
No.
But you can only get black kidney grills on the competition.
Yeah, because they're giving up the Ghost.
Yeah.
They realize now that it's more expensive to produce regular chrome kidneys than not. So, yeah, I think it's a shame. I will say that like it's not the worst on an M2, but I still don't prefer them.
It's not the worst, and like an M2 or an M4 where the kidney is much more sculptural.
Yeah.
Where there's like a depth to it and it sticks out and it
they're
protrudes and
separated.
Yeah, well, but I mean, on both those cars, like there is some dimension to the
Yeah.
kidneys. So even if it is this
There's-
stupid black shade,
There's still
it doesn't
character.
get lost. If you just have like a 5 Series with black kidneys,
It'll
it
be
looks just like a
sell out.
terrible void.
Yeah. I agree. Like, no one should get black kidney
I am not like
ever.
yeah, and don't put them on your E46.
No.
That looks like garbage.
Like that one that sold for like $1 on Bat recently
It was
because
Too
no one-
much money.
no one with who wants to buy one of these cars wants those. Like,
Right.
yeah. So
I am not like, yeah, I know chrome is flashy. I don't love chrome on everything, but in a BMW that was made that way, it's part of the identity.
it is part of the identity, and
It's like changing the badge to one that is. It's like a blacked out Maserati logo on your
I
matte
am
black.
not as bothered by chrome like as apparently many people are. Like, and it depends on the application. If it's just like an accessory flourish that has like no point to it, if it's just like the Ventaports on a Buick, obviously that is terrible. But if it accentuates like a window line, like appropriately, or if it's on a grill, say for instance, like and the grill itself needs to have a certain definition and shape to it, like I think chrome is fine.
So I hate to be a pedant about this,
Hmm.
but on a recent episode, you said pedant.
Yeah.
And I don't think that is correct.
I'm saying pedant in a pedantic way. What?
That's the reference.
Okay. Why is your wife on speakerphone saying
She's been waiting this whole time.
to say "pih"?
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, that
Yes.
is the British pronunciation.
No, that was the U.S. pronunciation. I clicked on the U.S.
Pedant.
pronunciation.
Pedant. I'm saying pedant because it's more fun to say pedant. Are we really
Sure.
going to be pedantic about the word pedant?
Yes.
I
We
can't
are.
say pedant. See? I
Sure,
skip
you
over to the other side.
can.
If it's not pedant, it's pedant. What do you think about that?
That sounds
You
good.
say it. You say it now.
Pedant.
No, it sounds like someone trying to. It's like when car people inadvertently or like subconsciously channel the Top Gear hosts when speaking about cars, and just like you'll say like no one has
We've
ever
been talking about the greatest cars in the world.
pause, leave for an hour in
Right.
the world. Or when people say like coupe, like when before Top Gear ever existed, you would have said coupe. But people say coupe. Sometimes unironically, sometimes ironically, but yeah, or various other words. But it's fine
It's fine.
because I'm gonna start pedant.
Okay. Do you want to get into some?
Wait, that was it?
That was it.
This was the segment on pedant.
That was
Pedantry.
it. Yeah.
What a. All right.
Not every segment has to be 48 minutes.
Next week on Vocabulary Corner with Kevin. Kevin's Vocabulary Corner.
Yeah. Hit the theme music.
Beep. I was gonna hum something. I'm not going to. I'm not going to
Okay.
be your monkey.
Do you want to get into some literature?
Should we?
Yeah.
I guess it's only been 3 hours.
It felt like 2.5.
Yeah, who's gonna start?
Well, I brought a
A bottle, you say?
yes.
Oh, that's a
There's
lot.
cars on the label. I bought a 1968 Toyota full line brochure.
Whoa.
It's not. It's very
You
like
say that as if that were the model itself.
the full line. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not too in depth. It's just a 3-page fold out.
A trifold, you say?
Yeah.
Whoa, it has
It has the 2000 GT
Holy
and the FJ40.
crap.
The
That's
Land
really
Cruiser.
cool.
It's really cool.
This
The
is
cover-
basically every desirable Toyota right now.
The cover is like a 3-stacked image of the 2000 GT race car.
Oh my god, that looks really cool.
Yeah.
That's a really nice design. I also love the Toyota logo.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah, it's basically Toyota where the first O is the Japanese
The rising sun.
The rising sun. Yeah.
But yeah, it's got the crown, the Corona,
Wow.
the Corolla, The
They
Land Cruiser.
they still
the
sell
Corona two-door hardtop.
that Crown. They still sell it.
Yeah, it's exactly the same.
Car. That's really cool. Like all of these on BAT today would sell for like $9 million.
This 2000 GT boasts a backbone frame, independent suspension,
Whoa.
four-wheel disc brakes,
Whoa.
and does the standing quarter mile in 15.9 seconds.
Wow. 15-second miles.
Wait, SS quarter mile.
Oh,
That doesn't mix. It does a 0 to 60 in 10.1.
that is as fast as your Prius is.
Roughly, yes.
If you ever see a 2000 GT on the road, you should challenge it.
A special model of this car was the featured automobile in the James Bond movie You Only Live Twice.
Oh wow! But it was a
It
convertible.
was a
version.
convertible because
Yeah.
you couldn't
It was-
fit in it.
yeah.
I'm assuming it was car rate.
Yeah.
I can't recall.
No.
But the we saw one of these at the Peterson last year.
Yeah. Only one I've ever seen.
I don't remember. Like we never established what that access panel.
No,
inside
that door. Christ, it doesn't house the spare tire. But I saw that once. I forget where, but they explained what the panel is, and all it is, I think, is it accesses like either a tool accesses either a tool or something of that nature. Anyways, but it's interesting that they chose that side to shoot it, because while it's interesting today, it seems like at the time, like this random like rectangular cutout in the car would not have been befitting of photography.
I don't know if they thought that much about the photography.
Really?
No, these are nice
those are
studio
nice
shots
photos,
of everything
yeah.
else. Here, it's like on an interstate.
Yeah. There's the Corona.
In front of. I mean, is that Manhattan?
Is it?
It's hard to say. It doesn't look familiar to me.
I don't know.
But I don't think there's any other skyline that looked like that. It looks like Lower Manhattan
Yeah.
in the 60s.
Which would be weird.
'Cause I think
what else have it?
I think that's the Woolworth building right there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All of these cars would have been available in the United States. This is
This
actually.
for sure was.
Oh, it's an American. It's
an American
okay. For some
brochure.
reason, I kept thinking like it was not that, but I'm still shook by your Toyota Scepter brochure that you. brought
It
the
was
last time.
amazing. It was
Yeah.
so cool.
So much so that I think every Japanese car now is a Japanese
I
domestic
know.
market.
Well, I ordered while we were recording that episode. I ordered another brochure, which will arrive.
Now. We've drained our savings
I know.
buying these brochures. Are you ready for this?
Sure.
Because here, I'll let you open it because it's still in its plastic wrap.
Whoa.
What could it be?
It's Mazda. So you've got the full lineup on
Okay,
the
the
back.
full lineup is so cool. Look
It
at
is
that.
so cool.
From beginning to end.
Okay,
like,
top to bottom, literally here. 929 luxury sedan, RX-7 sports car, 626 sedan, MX-6 sports coupe, the twisted sister to the Ford Probe.
yeah.
The MX-3 sports coupe, which these all had, so like the 626, the MX-6, the MX-3 all had the same family of V6 engines.
Yeah. And, keep going.
The MX-5 Roadster,
Mm-hmm.
Protege sedan,
Mm-hmm.
323 hatchback,
Mm-hmm.
Navajo sport utility. Whoa, and it shows the two-door.
Yeah.
That's cool.
They didn't have a four-door. The Navajo
Did they
was only
not?
ever the three-door.
Oh,
or
I didn't
two-door.
know that.
Yeah.
MPV minivan and B-Series truck.
Yeah.
You just want me to struggle with the plastic.
I do. I don't want to touch it.
So, one suggestion that we could make on a possible change. When I saw our friend Will Pierce this week,
Mm-hmm.
and he saw the Prowler brochure,
Yeah.
and he looked at it extremely closely and found like 8 things that were insane that I didn't really see
What?
because I wasn't looking at it. And so I think I need to
Didn't
review
he go
these.
blind from looking at it that
How much
closely?
orange? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was. I would like to review these a little more, but I'm sure you have since I'm opening up the plastic for the first time right now.
Yeah.
This is a 1995 Millennial brochure. It was
Mazda
probably.
Millennial.
I mean, I would love it if
hang
like.
on. Go on, but
I was gonna say it would be great if like the Mazda logo was like a sticker placed over. If these were like printed as Amati brochures, and it was
Yeah.
like a Mazda sticker.
this would have been of the era where it was the old logo.
Ooh, the accessories.
Oh wow. Okay, wait. Will you turn to the back really quick and okay? So read the descriptor for 929 again,
929 luxury sedan.
and now look at the descriptor for the Millennia on the top left corner.
Millennia luxury sedan.
They had 2 luxury sedans in the lineup for years, like because the Millennia was supposed to be
The Amati.
the Amati, and so they had like a clash. They had like this adopted son that clashed, I guess.
Ooh, it looks so good.
I love the first gen, or not the first gen, but rather.
Whoa, someone circled off options.
Wait, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
there's got check marks and stuff.
Dear Lord! Wow, the accessories are actually really terrible.
Really? Well, it's showing accessories in the brochure too, and they are also terrible.
Yeah. Let's see. We have the bra, which they actually look at this in front of a private jet. That's the type of person who buys a bra. Oh man, this one is like every option. Look, it has the bra. It has the sunroof visor,
Mhm.
like that weird thing that people had.
Yep, that's
in the
on here
90s.
too.
It also has
Very WeatherTech.
the spoiler, which I feel like this car aerodynamically needs. Wow, that is.
Ooh, this has stainless
What do you got?
scuff plates.
Oh, you get gold emblem.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So every exterior color is bad,
Mhm.
but they have cool names because half of them specify, like white pearl mica specifies high reflex process, which is like a really cool term.
Yeah.
I don't know what it means.
High acid reflux. Wait, what? Okay, I see some circled options. What did this person? How did this person spec out their car?
You look.
No, I was gonna get up and get
Oh.
a drink, but so you describe what this person. Look, they checked off sunroof visor. Amazing.
Who wouldn't want the sunroof visor?
I don't know. He said from across the room.
Ooh, CD changer. Ooh, they were circling Millennia S stuff. They wanted the S, which had the Miller cycle. This is some extremely stretched type at the top.
Yeah, yeah. I noticed that because the
Whoa,
brochure.
look at like the clay.
Oh, they're carving the wood, which actually there's barely any. If you look at that, it's so thin.
Yeah. Hey, they've got that yellow bar just like in the Pro brochure.
Oh yeah, what was the Ford family thing?
Yeah, Fomoco.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Oh, yeah, that looks good. I liked it. Okay, because pre-facelift,
LCI?
LCI, they had the glass headlamps. So it had like the projector shining through the like fluted.
Ooh,
Yeah, through the fluted
the
glass.
sketches.
Oh, the sketches look really cool.
Yeah.
And then I think around 99 or 2000, like the one that your friend had.
My family.
Oh, your family.
My family had. My
Sorry.
friend had the Millennium edition.
Yeah. Well, you introduced me to your mother as your friend.
Yep.
But oh man, I thought
We
the
are no longer
interior.
pals.
I thought the interior of the Millennia was so cool. Like the stereo. I was as a kid, I was super obsessed with like factory stereo design, like the electronics of a car. And I thought that was so cool with its like giant LCD and the giant knobs.
Yeah. It was pretty much like that in the 01 also.
Yeah. But anyways, it was like the 2000 and the 01 or whatever it was, had like the plastic that when they went to like the crystalline like plastic headlights, which was kind of a shame.
When they changed the shape, like the LCI.
Changed the shape, yeah.
Yeah.
They went away from projectors. But yeah, this was
It's beautiful.
it was a nice looking car. It reminded me of the GS300, the original one, the
Yeah.
Gigaro design.
Ooh, that looks so good.
It does look good.
All the colors are so lame.
Back in the day when it was indecent to show exposed lugs, you had the lug covers.
Vanity plate.
Yeah. What does that say? The vanity plate?
No, I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Look at this godlight on the cover.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's real.
No, that's not the most flattering like view of the Millennia though. That like dead on long shot.
No, I don't think so. I think this is
Yeah,
pretty
it has to be
stunning. Except the
3/4.
color sucks. All the colors suck.
Yeah.
And if they didn't suck, it was two-tone and the bottom color sucked.
Oh yeah, because they wanted to be Lexus.
It was the style at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's very cool. I think that
Yeah.
possibly
Are we wrapping it up? Are you done?
I think so.
Okay, Kevin. I guess you're the one.
What
to
are we
call
at? 3 hours 15.
Yeah. Oh no, we've gone over our allotted time. Anyways, well, that's a podcast. Thanks for listening, Kevin. You do the closing because you always forget to do the closing, and as do I.
I completely remembered, and you didn't need to say anything.
That's a lie.
Please check out our Instagram, new for 96. And if you have complaints,
Keep
them to yourself, please. Yeah. We have an email address.
Yeah.
We're withholding it.
Yeah. We have a fax number.
And please do not leave reviews.
No.
It's for the best.
It is
for everyone involved. Make sure you don't leave reviews.
Yeah.
Don't tell your friends about this. And do not, by any means, like and or subscribe.
No. I've tried to explain this podcast, and it has not gone well.
No.
No. All right. Well, thanks for listening. Goodbye.